From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. AccuWeather meteorologists are monitoring two areas in the Atlantic where storms could develop, coinciding with the time of year when tropical activity begins to surge in late August. One area is located just southeast of Bermuda in the central Atlantic, while the other is a well-organized tropical wave that recently moved off the western coast of Africa. AccuWeather lead hurricane expert Alex De Silva said the area with the medium risk of tropical development is near Bermuda. So far, the low-level circulation is separated from the bulk of the thunderstorm activity. If the low-level center can get underneath the thunderstorms, we could have fairly quick organization and strengthening. Winds are expected to keep the system well east of the U.S. Even if it doesn't become a tropical system, it could produce gale-force winds and hazardous conditions along transatlantic shipping routes. A large tropical wave that moved off the western coast of Africa appeared more organized than most waves to emerge from the continent so far this season. Dozens of tropical waves move westward across Africa and emerge over the Atlantic each year. During the peak of hurricane season from late August through September, a wave can move off the African coast every 2 to 4 days, but only a small percentage develop into tropical depressions. The tropical wave will encounter pockets of dry and moist air, along with areas of stronger and weaker wind shear. A persistent zone of moderate to strong wind shear and dry air has extended across the Caribbean this season. These hostile conditions contributed to the demise of several tropical disturbances in recent weeks and are expected to persist this week. If the tropical wave remains organized this week and passes northeast of the Leeward Islands late this weekend or early next week, conditions could become more favorable for it to strengthen into a tropical storm or hurricane north of Puerto Rico. De Silva said the wave moving westward across the Atlantic has a medium chance of becoming a tropical depression later on this week. If it does develop and strengthen, it will have a greater chance of turning northward. Atlantic tropical activity historically increases sharply from late August into early September before reaching its climatological peak around September 10th. Excluding Hurricane Alex, which formed unusually early in January 2016, the average date of the Atlantic season's first hurricane over the past 10 years is July 27th. However, every hurricane season is different and can be strongly influenced by the El Niño Southern Oscillation. This recurring climate pattern involves changes in tropical Pacific Ocean temperatures and the atmosphere above it. When tropical Pacific waters remain cooler than average, La Niña conditions can favor increased Atlantic tropical activity. When the waters remain warmer than average, El Niño conditions can increase wind shear over the Atlantic, often limiting tropical development while supporting greater activity in parts of the Pacific. La Niña and El Niño events vary in intensity. The current El Niño could become one of the strongest in a lifetime, potentially affecting tropical activity in the Atlantic and Pacific, as well as winter storm patterns across the western U.S. The current El Niño could persist through the winter and well into 2027. Hawaii's second tropical threat in a week passed south of the islands after bringing additional rain and gusty winds to communities still recovering from Hurricane Lala. Moke weakened to a tropical depression Sunday as it moved west hundreds of miles south of Hawaii. The system did not deliver the destructive repeat of Lala that residents and emergency officials had feared, although its approach temporarily did threaten to slow repairs and worsen flooding in areas where the ground remained saturated. Moke's threat came less than a week after Lala unleashed catastrophic flooding and damaging winds across Hawaii Island, leaving washed-out roads, damaged bridges, and widespread electric infrastructure damage. More than 100 homes were swept away, with rainfall topping out at 43 inches in some spots. That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and you can stay weather-aware with the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.